Happy hour. Humpday. Happy hour hangout. Humpday.
Let's get down.
Happy hour hangout.
Well, let's get drunk at the director's garage.
Yeah, why not? How's everybody doing? Oh man, I got some fold back situation. I got a feeling it's my TV set. Hold on, everybody. Oh yeah, there we go. Whoa, let's find out where the foldback's coming from. I got a hunch. If I had to guess, it would be that right? No? Well, this is interesting. Welcome to the Happy Hour Humpday Hangout here at the Director's Garage in stereo. We've got a lot. I don't know why I'm getting this feedback. Are you guys hearing this? 1, 2, 3. I'm not hearing it anywhere else. I'm just hearing it in my headphones. Right in the chat real quick. Are you hearing a lot of foldback? I got to find out where it's coming from. Yep, you guys are. Okay. Well, it would be logical if I was hearing something play out in the room, but I'm not. I'm hearing nothing. This is the FoKus Batiste. FoKus Batiste. Oh, well, let's turn you off for a little bit. Well, guys, I'm not sure where this is coming from. Let's see. We've got the MacBook Pro on with a nice little tune coming through. Where else would it be? I've only got one mic open. I don't know what to tell you. I can't figure it out. If you ever wondered if this mic was real, that'll tell you. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let's kill that. Output. There. Not here. Kill that. Nope. Sounds like right channel only. Well, we got statistics. That's all hooked up. Well, I don't know what's going on here, fellas. That's a little alarming. That. I'm just going to start pulling stuff down. That open? Nope. This is the mic. Okay, that's okay. Well, I'm inclined to say we just got to kind of go with it. I don't know where I'm getting two sources coming through. I've only got one output. Yes. That takes everything out, right? Yep. Well, is there some sort of talkback on? No. No, that's the master. Headphone. That just hurts my ears. I can't hear anything when that goes off. Something somewhere is causing feedback. On his TV only, but no echo here. I'm hearing it like clear as day in my headphone, in my cans here. Let's try something else. I do have these. This is or I could try a different headphone. This is the Apollo shoot. Next episode of the Director's Garage, and we're on a time limit today too, because boys, I'm not missing this Yankees-Dodgers game. That's not happening. Let's try a different headphone. I mean, it's possible that the mic here is picking something up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's normal. So it's the Batiste that was causing the drama. Well, that just lost the shootout. It just lost 4 minutes of valuable on-air time we could be spending, you know, researching stuff and Googling and oogling stuff. We're going to talk about Odyssey today. Because I'm going to put these away because I'm tired of being distracted by it. We're going to talk about Odyssey today because if you missed it, and maybe you did, we had Odyssey on our. You still hear double? Well, it's not on my. It's not coming in on the headphones. No, this is normal. So we're gonna just go ahead, forge ahead, as they say. We can always investigate this offline. I can double check some things and try some different IEMs and stuff. My suspicion is that the microphone on this thing was somehow opening up and looping back somewhere. Anyway, doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. So Odyssey was our guest on the Hangout on Saturday, and I took some notes to relay to you folks because you didn't make it. If you didn't make it, and you. Not all of you were there, I'm sure. But they relayed some information. It was really interesting. We got a lot of information. And if you guys are at all interested in that, $3 will let you get all of those past Hangouts, access to them. It's a $3 subscription over on Patreon, and you can get into that. We're also going to take a look at Neil Snyder's TV setup. He sent us over some photos, and if you have any photos to add, you can do that at directorsgarage@gmail.com, directorsgarage@gmail.com, and we'll show your photos off on the air. So you can do that. That'll be kind of fun. So we're going to take a look at Neil's listening setup for his television rig, and he's got a really cool new piece of gear there that I'm kind of a little envious of, a little bit. And and then we're going to talk about Odyssey, and then ZMF. It's ZMF November is starting in just a couple days, and they showed off some new products. We'll take a look at those in a few minutes. The other thing, so I want to start with Odyssey because that was my big get from this week. I did shoot the first part 1 of the Apollo review, and I'm just roughing it out now. I know I'm way behind on that episode. I don't really care. It'll be done when it's done. I want it to be good, and I don't want to rush it. So it's just whenever I get it done, it'll be out to you guys. But at least I shot it, which is a great deal further than I was a week ago. I hadn't even shot it. I've been focusing on getting work, guys. So I've been doing a lot of stuff to get my name out there and get some stuff going on. The Odyssey stuff. Odyssey came on. We got a rep from Odyssey to come on our Hangout, which is the Saturday Patreon thing I just mentioned. And they were really forthcoming, and it was wonderful to hear from them. I was very excited and very pleased with that, and I think everybody who was there had a lot of takeaway. And what Odyssey told us is that they're entering a heavy product cycle, meaning they've only had 3 products in the last year and a half or so, 18 months. And that's going to change. They've got a bunch of new products coming, which they've kicked off most recently with the Carbon 2 that we saw, that maybe if you went to CanJam SoCal, you had a chance to check that out. And I did, and I thought they were wonderful. The Carbon 2 has been in development. Really, they said they never stopped developing the Carbon 2, developing the original Carbon, and they got to a point where they're like, okay, we can release this now, and we'll get this out to the market. And what they were focused on was this issue. Let's see if I got a Carbon 2. I got a Carbon 2 right here. This issue with the Carbon 1 is that the membrane, I'll try to describe this. The membrane, which is this tiny little thin, membrane thing. It's made out of carbon nanotube technology. It's very, very thin. It's got a coating on it. It sits between two posts that are charged positive and negative. So as the music plays through and it sends charges down each side, it repels and attracts the membrane between the two, what they call stators. These are stators. And what was happening was, as you were putting the headphones on, this membrane was being pushed out away from your ears, and it would make contact with the outer stator, which would produce an annoying click or a pop. They called it Stax farts. And so every time you put these on, and if just the act of sealing them would put enough pressure on that membrane that it would shove it outwards and it would make contact with this charged stator, which would produce this electrical pop. Terrible. Terrible, right? And I complained about that in the review, and I've complained about it on this headphone ever since, that I get this annoying pop anytime you put this headphone on or take it off with the amp on. You were going to get it. Didn't matter if the sound was turned down. It didn't matter if, what was going on. It would just do it. As long as there was electricity flowing to this thing, you would get this annoying pop. So, I should keep this real quick. So what they did was they went to work on putting an air gap between the start of the pad and the end of the driver housing. They opened this up and they put a little channel in there for air to escape. So now when you put them on, instead of the pressure pushing out on the membrane and making contact, the air will vent to the outside world. And what they found when they did that is that the headphone also produced a prodigious amount of bass. So they worked on tuning that and getting that tamed. And what they came up with, I'm going to show it to you because I'm producer. Oh, shit. Wrong one. Oh, lame. All right, well, there goes my production credit for this episode. They produced, here's the headphone. Look right here. You can see where my pointer is. That's the new air gap, and that's what they're calling the SLAM technology. All right. So, and it stands for Symmetrical Linear Acoustic Modulator, and this is the SLAM in action. And what it's doing is it's providing a vent to the outside world through a ring, and because of the different structure here, it's tuning it to give you a very nice boost to the bass under around 100 hertz, right? So it's all sub bass. This is all giving you thump down low, which is something that electrostatics are not known for. And this ring is the big upgrade to the Carbon 2 over the Carbon 1. And when you send your existing Carbon 1 in for this upgrade, they basically are going to keep this part of the headphone and replace all of this. Because you can't really take this apart and jam that little piece in there. And they also, apparently, he indicated that they did some work on the driver, the coating on the driver, so it would be less prone to stick. I don't know. The coating that they've put on this driver eliminates a problem that some electrostatics have, in that they have a metal. They have metal in the diaphragm. Well, the diaphragm can corrode. It's just, if you're in a humid environment, it can corrode. It can get, so that's why electrostatics sometimes go bad over time. It's because that you'll get corrosion from the humidity in the air. You'll get corrosion on the diaphragm, and it won't flow freely. The other benefit, they said, by the way, just thinking of flow freely, the other benefit to this new technology is by releasing that pressure, it gives the diaphragm itself, which is in the middle here, over here, it gives it less resistance, so that diaphragm can move freer and be a little more responsive to the transients and things like that. Some of the fun stuff of that ESETs do so well. So if you're doing the upgrade, you're going to get a complete gutting of the headphone. It's just going to replace everything that's not the superstructure, and that's pretty exciting. For $1,000, you get all of that stuff, and I think that's only going to be for early adopters. Check with Odyssey. Don't take my word for it. The size is identical. They're the exact same size, but they're a little thicker by that 3 millimeters in the that the slam piece is taking up. This little slam separator, and the frequency response is they're saying it's graphing identical to the original carbon, except under 110 hertz. You get a significant boost, but that driver flex is going away, and that's the headline here, because that was probably for me the deal breaker on the Carbon 2, or on the Carbon 1. Cheers, everybody, while I'm reading all this stuff. And if you think about it, other companies have done something similar. Abyss headphones. I don't have Abyss called up here. Maybe I can get them up real quick. Abyss released a new ear pad for the Diana. I think it's headphones. Let's see what happens. Yeah, here we go. So, Diana, I want to see the store. Show me the headphone accessories. How about that? Yeah, here we go. All right, let's see if this is that. All right, I'll show it to you real quick. This is the Abyss, and I want to find the vented. They don't show the vented one here, do they? Nope. Well, that's a shame. But anyway, they sell headphone. They sell an ear pad that has that relief in it also, and that will give you. And you can kind of. Well, no, that's the original. I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes, boys. No, but they came out with an ear pad for the Diana that has that venting in it that will give you that enhanced bass effect. So it's the same concept. It's basically the same concept, except they're building it into the headphone instead of into the ear pad. Disappointments in this. Pads are not replaceable, and it doesn't look like they're going to be replaceable on the new one, at least not easily. And cables will still be attached. You won't be able to replace the cable easily without doing some soldering, which is a lot of fun. No, I wish they had. I wish they would have let us replace the cables, but oh well. We talked about the membrane, pressure relief venting system, and yeah, that's it. That's all that I've got for that. So that was part one of the Odyssey thing, and we talked for about 25 minutes on this new release, and it was really exciting. I was very, very excited to have them on. And then we got into more general stuff, and one thing I learned is Odyssey was bought out by Sony. I've been talking about this for a few weeks, and we had some discussions about what it meant, and maybe was I reading it wrong, and I was kind of reading it wrong. But Abyss, when Abyss was bought by, when Odyssey was bought by Sony, I'm getting my companies mixed up here, they were bought to be a supplier for Sony PlayStation products. And they have been cranking out drivers. They went from producing a couple of 100,000 drivers a year to 4 million drivers a year. And I didn't know this, but they are supplying all of the drivers for the Sony Pulse Elite over-ear and the Sony Pulse Explorer Bluetooth True Wireless IEM. Those are Odyssey drivers in those Sony products. I didn't know that. And they've been cranking. They had to basically double their footprint and install a whole new automated factory. There was upgrades, all kinds of upgrades to automation and efficiency to be able to do. They went in 6 months. They went 8 times their current output capacity. So they did all that in 6 months and Sony obviously invested some capital to allow them to do that. But to get 4 million drivers out a year, it's quite astounding. And they're doing it all from down south here, just south of LA. I also know that they're working on an LCD-6. Now, when I talked to the Odyssey rep at the show, he said we're working on a flagship Odyssey for next year. I hate when people do this. I don't know why I did it. But they said they're working on a flagship. And then the gentleman who was with us, his name is Peter, he told us that they're working on an LCD-6. So there is an LCD-6 coming. Whether that's the flagship that the guy was talking about, he wouldn't confirm. That's coming out in 2025. But it is on the way. It's something that they're working on, and he says, quote, it will break new ground. Take that for what it is. They're also aware of us LCD-4 fans and our obsession with the LCD-4, and he will not comment about whether the new headphone will address the LCD-4 crowd who's been pining for an update to that original LCD-4 sound. Very interesting stuff. It was a great discussion. Again, if you're interested in hearing that, it's $3, guys. It's all $3. And you can also you'll get access. If you do that, you'll get access to all the future hangover hangouts that happen usually on Saturdays at 9:30 in the morning Pacific, and then you'll also get access to them on tape. And I release everything like usually that day or the next day. I put it up and send out to the Patreoners a link to those episodes. So yeah, there you go, guys. It's really, I'm so excited by what happened on Saturday, and you guys are invited to join us anytime you want. The only reason I put up $3, it helps me, one, pay for the Zoom. I gotta have a Zoom account that costs money, and two, it really, honestly, it keeps the trolls out. It keeps because I have some haters that like to just disrupt stuff. Post stuff in my comments, and charging a small little fee to get in the door just keeps those guys out, because they're not going to pay me to yell at me, or they can if they want, but you know, what's the point at that point? Very cool stuff, though. We got a lot out of Odyssey. Also want to talk about, of course, ZMF and ZMF November. We're going to go take a look at that webpage. I have it called up because producer, and they have a new atrium closed for ZMF November, and it's a new limited option. And frame material, I'm trying to see which one. What, I don't remember what they said this wood was. Is there a card in here? It's beautiful, whatever it is. Looks really nice. And you know, Zach's not going to make a bad headphone anyway. But these are the ZMF limited November, and then there's an atrium, which is beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this new, what he's doing. It's like almost like an asymmetrical kind of thing. It's really neat looking. Very cool. I love when he does age stuff, stuff that looks older than it is. He's really good at that process, and Zach just amazes. Here's a Caldera close. That was an atrium close, that first one we looked at. This is a burl. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. Damn. Lustworthy stuff, fellas. That's cool. That's an end grain. It's gorgeous. So pretty. And then here's the Caldera open back. Oh, that's got a really nice pattern in it. Very cool. I love stuff that's aged like this. What he does is he blacks out the grill a little bit, but he sort of airbrushes it. Just beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So good. So that's coming for ZMF November, and are there special prices? Yeah, you're off. You lose a couple $100 on each pair, just to move some product out the door. Very cool, man. Zach's always killing it over there. Always like seeing that. So there you go. We're kind of up to date on the state of the state. I'll get into some chat, and we're going to go for another hour, and I am off the air before those Dodgers take the field. Actually, they were batting first because they're in New York, but whatever. You get the point. Hey, everyone. Happy ZMF November. We just looked at that. Those Queensland. Is that what it's called? Queensland? The Caldera closed? Is that what we're calling these? Because it's a borough. That looks so pretty. I'm using the wrong browser. I can't zoom in on this for some reason. It won't expand it to a full screen picture. But oh well. It's very nice. Very nice. I mean, it's great. So they're calling it Queensland. All right. I'll buy that. It sounds good. Hello, everyone. Mr. Dynamite. Mr. Dynamite, someone is selling a Mascobo and Sesvara unveiled on US Audio Mart for only $23,500. Goodness me. Oh, that's some pocket change there, boys. That's not even, that won't even land me, that won't even get me a divorce. That will get me right into the loony asylum. My wife would literally have me committed if I spent $23,500 on headphone stuff right now. Big sofa cushions. Yep. Whoop. Yep. That was me figuring out the sounds right channel only. That's me trying to figure out the foldback that was coming from my, I'm guessing that it's the Batiste microphones. Here's the downside. This is what was going on. These things have microphones on them for making calls, and it's also got microphones on it for noise cancellation. The Batiste, you cannot turn the noise cancellation off. There is no off button for the ANC on the Batiste. It's always working. It's either in high mode, pass-through mode, or low mode. There's only 3 modes on the Batiste. So what was happening was it was picking up my own voice, probably getting some electrical interference too from all the shit. I've got monitors and stuff on all over the place, but it was picking up some interference and it was folding it back into the ANC and trying to cancel itself, and it was causing a big delay in my ears. So I was like, what was going on? But anyway, so the Batiste was bad. It was bad Batiste. Bad Batiste. IMJ says, howdy, people. He got the last piece of his audio puzzle today and will be taking photos to send over to share. I love that, man. Please, please, please send. Michael, we need dates from you to visit Odyssey. Jim and my son will come too. Yeah, I'm working on that, Neil. We're going to go down to the factory. We're going to have a director's garage field day at Odyssey. I did reach out to them today just to say thank you for the weekend, and I also brought up the subject. We'll see where it goes from there, and we'll try and let Odyssey dictate where they want, when it's convenient for them. And we'll find some dates. We'll get some dates and get that going. But a little director's garage trip down to Odyssey, if you're in the LA area and you want to participate in our little field trip. Again, this is the email address for me and all my troublemaking stuff. So there you go. But yeah, we're going to work on that, and we're going to get everybody to go down to Odyssey for a little director's garage field trip. And I know Jonathan wants to go, and Neil wants to be there, and Neil's going to bring some guests too. So all good, all good. Didn't know Odyssey was in Santa Ana. Neil and Michael, when you guys go, please let me know. Yes, absolutely. 15-20 minutes away from me. It's a free day. It's a free field trip. Couldn't go wrong. Kevin Jacques says, hi, fellas. Has anyone talked about the new HiFiman closed back or the Aria unveiled? Both are at Can Jam this weekend in Dallas. I have not, and I did not listen to the HE-1000 unveiled. Everybody's trying to get to that, and I was way more interested in the Sesvara unveiled, and I thought it was great. I thought it was a great headphone. I think I said that in the little wrap up. I was crazy impressed by him. I didn't want to be. I wanted to hate that headphone so badly, but what are you going to do? I can only react how I react, and I thought, damn, these are really nice. Like I really did. I'm like, if you know, I don't know if it's worth the $8,000, but it's, you know, if you find a pair used that aren't torn up, don't have torn drivers, maybe in the future if I'm working, can't be sitting at home buying headphones. It's not a good. That's not a good future, boys. Are you unveiled? HiFiman going to trickle down the design to the lower models the way they always do? Well, that's clear. Yeah, they're heading in that direction for sure. Neil has the vented pad for the Diana. He'll send me photos. That's cool. And they do make a difference. It's just like with the 1266. The genius of the 1266, other than their looks, because they are just beautiful, said no one ever, is you can break those things apart and break the seal around your ears, and you get a tremendous bass wallop. It's so fun. There is no headphone like that one. It's very unique. It's not, I wouldn't want them all the time, but boy, when you're in the mood to listen to something and you really want to bring the bottom end, it's like, yeah, there's nothing like that Abyss. It's crazy. It's crazy how good it is. It's amazing. Christian Lopez says he should have suspected, though he guesses he assumed they wanted to do something to reestablish the Sapphire as truly unique and worthy of being at the top end of the headphone by giving it a different tech and brand. Of the heat by giving it a different tech and brand. Well, Christian, I think, you know, I mean, most of us, the majority of us, would have no qualms with anybody saying that the Sapphire is the best consumer headphone. Some people would argue, and some people say they like this or that better, or the Yamaha, or, you know, whatever it is you like, and that's fine. But there's very few that would take you on if you were saying that the you know, Odyssey, or sorry, the HiFiman Sapphire is the best headphone. So I don't think they had any reason to top it, other than they knew that if they did come out with something new, it does reinvigorate the Sapphire, because it's kind of like it's been around for so long. Like the 1266, it's been around for a long time now, and coming out with a new flagship brings some spotlight back on Odyssey, which has been focused in that mid-tier for quite some time now, with the ARRI Organic and the HE-1000 varietals, and they found a way to make the headphone a little more special, but is it better? I don't know. I think the jury's out on that. I really would have to spend some serious time with them. I was very impressed by them. I think it just reinvigorates HiFiman without having to come out with a whole new headphone, which they kind of did, I guess, but it's, you know, it's obviously fundamentally the same headphone. As far as the tech and the way it's laid out and stuff, it's the same shape, all that stuff. It's just, it's got no grills. Which I don't know. You guys know I have issues with that. I don't think that's a good idea, period. But there's no denying that it sounds better. And if you want to take the risk and it's your money, go for it. I just think that you're setting yourself up for a future cry session when something bad happens because you don't have a grill on the outside. I think that's a problem. If I bought these and I spent $6,000 on these and they didn't have, you know, some protective something there, and I tore them up right away, I'd be kind of mad. I'd be kind of mad at myself for buying them in the first place, you know. I don't know. I'm a fan of the headphone. I think it sounds great, but I think this unveiled trend is a really bad idea. I think it's a fad and it will go away because it's going to come. There's going to come a point at which I think HiFiman is going to be tired of getting requests to replace drivers, and because accidents happen. You know, people aren't perfect, except me. Okay, moving on. I don't know. But I'm a fan of I think the Sapphire, the regular Sapphire, is still in the short list or in the conversation for best consumer headphone you can buy. And I put the consumer name in there because there are headphones that I think are inherently probably better. I'm probably the Aperio by what you call it. I forgot the name of the brand. It's just, you see, this one. I'm old, man. The Apiro, the HE1, you know, these are 38,000. These are like so far out into the stratosphere. They're not consumer. Like, they're not for the consumer. They're for a boutique aficionado dude who's got so much more money than he knows what to do with, and you know, doesn't mind spending the price of a BMW on a headphone. I don't think most of the world is willing to do that or can do that. So can you, you know, can you get better? Yeah, but it's for the consumer headphones. I think it's the best, or at least on the short list for the best. So does it reinvigorate it? Yeah, it reinvigorates the HiFiman, you know, the Sapphire as a name, but I don't think it ever went anywhere to begin with. It's the best part about that headphone is that it's easier to drive now, and that was a real sticking point for the original Sapphire. You know the drama I went through on this with this Sapphire, trying to find the right amp for it, and I've only found really a couple that really did well, you know, really well with it. Like, really clearly, this is doing what I want the Sapphire to do at long last. And one of them is this Ray Samuels amp that's back here, the B21 Raider. Which also has a banging electrostatic side to it as well, and the Anlium was another amp that just does it wonderful, and you know, does wonderful things with the Sapphire. And I'm sure there are others, but those are the two that I tested that I really went, whoa, wait a second, this is doing something entirely different. And I think the Bakun was also up there. The Anlium was a better representation of that. The Bakun was maybe a little more finessed. But the Anlium, what was fun about the 23R is that it just manhandled it. Same company, by the way. Bakun and Anlium were related at one time, and there was a divorce, and they invented a new company to keep the tech going. Talk about Dickster. Cheers, everybody. I hope you're having a good week. I'm up to here with politics. I have banned X from my desktop. I'm not looking at it. I'm like, I need about 3 or 4 days off from seeing people complain, because that's all I'm seeing right now. I'm so over it. But it's good. We're getting into the later part of the week, and I'm I'm still pulling levers trying to get a job. It's been a little bit on the frustrating side, but I knew the world I was in. It's just been a little painful trying to get where I want to go. Dixter says, okay, sorry, he did try to look it up before he posted. How much are they? They don't have an ARIA unveiled. Yeah, right. I didn't know they had I knew they had the HE-1000 unveiled, but anyway. Sometimes I miss stuff, so if you guys write down that there's an ARIA unveiled, I'll go, that wouldn't surprise me. They're going into another Can Jam. They, you know, had some other product they were working on. It wouldn't surprise me. Neil Snyder says he's working on his OCD6. Well, that's one thing I've never had to worry about, thank God. I'm not somebody who has to go back and check shit 4 times. Let's take a look at Neil's. This is Neil's TV setup. He's put together a neat little. It's a small system. It's just for funsies, for listening to TV, watching TV. And he sent me over a couple photos, and he got a new product out of this, and I think it's a really cool product. It's one that I have a little bit of envy with. Let's open this with a preview, and then we'll go full screen, and then I'll show it to you. Okay, and here it is. So what he has here is a FiO R9, and this is an all-in-one box. I love this thing. I don't have a place for it. Like, it doesn't have room in my life right now. I can't. I just don't have a need for it. But Neil does, which is great. And so he has this wonderful R9. This is and he's got the Diana over it. But this is an all-in-one box. It's got the amp built in. It's got the digital media. All the things are built into this box. It's an all-in-one streamer with a DAC in it, and I think it's great. And everybody who's seen this thing thinks it's great. It's very. Oops, there we go. And here's a close-up of it. Here's a closer look. But I think this box is cool, and these things aren't like crazy bonkers expensive. They're like a little over $1,000 for the R9, and they have an R7 that's under $1,000. But I think these things are wonderful. And if you're not looking at like the Ever Solo, which is the sort of the competitor to this, and I think that's really cool. But this one has the amp in it. I don't think the Ever Solo has an amp stage in it, unless you get into their higher end stuff. Maybe they'll include an amp stage. But very cool. This is Neil has this now in his living room for watching TV. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. Thanks, Neil, for sending photos. If you have photos to send to me, please send them to directorsgarage@gmail.com. directorsgarage@gmail.com. And we'll put your photos on the air, and we'll talk about them. And I promise we will not be mean. There's no place for mean on this show. There's plenty of self-deprecation. That's fine. Perfectly acceptable. I will laugh at myself. I will laugh, but I will not laugh at your gear. I think it's cool that you're into this hobby at any level that you're in. And there's nothing wrong with a $200 setup, and there's nothing wrong with a $2,000 setup, and there's nothing wrong with a $20,000 setup. They're all cool. Very cool. Fun stuff. Really enjoying it. Wow, Wednesday already, says Matthew Hilton. Yeah, it came around fast. But fortunately, we had stuff to talk about today with the Odyssey weekend, and I was just thrilled. I thought that was a great time, and to get a major company to pay attention to our little corner of this hobby. We've got it. We're small but mighty, but we're not the Headphone Show. We're not. We're not headphones.com and any of these other guys who do this. Head-Fi, they're huge numbers, and we're small, but they like us, and I think they like that we don't mess around much. Like we're not people who tear other people down, and we're just kind of like we're just hanging out and enjoying the hobby, and that's what it's about. And I think that companies have been responding to that. Certainly Noble has responded to that. They sent me these Apollos, and Odyssey enjoyed. They sent me good feedback, and everybody seems to enjoy hanging out with our group. And I think that's great. I think it's great because if there's nobody here that's like beating on anybody, we're all just like, hey, how do we fix this? What do you think of this? It's like, we're all just interested. We're fans. And the other thing I love is that we all have different tastes in music. And on that weekend, on that Hangout, we always have a music little section, even if it's just 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Sometimes it's longer, but we'll talk about new music that's exciting us and what we should be listening to. We had Gene, is our resident Grateful Dead expert. I'm a big fan of the Grateful Dead too, and we had a couple of people who were interested in what Grateful Dead albums are, sort of required listening, or where's the on-ramp to the Grateful Dead? And we gave a bunch of examples for you to go out and listen to, just things to check out and see if you enjoy them. And that's what it's about, because we lost Phil Lesh last week. I didn't get that happened in between live streams. So, yeah, that's a big loss to the music world, and it's very sad. But but we had a chance to talk about Phil and his contributions and the Grateful Dead music that we love, and that's a part of it too. I love that our community here is very music focused too, and that's a big part of my world. I'm more about the music than I am the tech to deliver it, but the tech gives me an on-ramp to do this show, and there you go. So, very cool. Jonathan's here, and he says, oh no one could hate Michael. Oh man, it happens. Guys, I don't know. People just, I think they just don't like that I have fun with this hobby, and they don't like that I'm not afraid to point out when something is ridiculous. Even Odyssey laughed at my slam, me kind of poking fun at their slam analogy. And the guy who was with us, Peter, he's one of the people that came up with that acronym, SLAM. and he was like, yeah, okay, you had fun with it. I saw, he had a sense of humor about it. And I think that's important. I think we get too bogged down in graphs and charts and dying on hills that aren't worth dying on. And man, let's just enjoy the hobby and it's okay if you don't like what I like. It's fine. And don't take it personally. Everybody has different tastes. I've got tinnitus, and so I have a ringing that's 24/7 inside these ears, and I've got to counter that when I'm listening to stuff and trying to, assess what I'm hearing. That means that maybe it's not going to be the same for you because I have different hearing. So there you go. Kevin Jacques says, Dixter, the HiFiman closed back is a hybrid dynamic planar priced at $2,400 called the Isvarna. Oh, I haven't seen that. Kevin, that's a good one. We'll have to go look that up. I'm not going to do it now because we're a little bit short on time today, but that's interesting. And I'd love to hear that because that's the technology that's in this Apollo. This Noble Audio Apollo is a hybrid. It's got a 40 millimeter dynamic, and then there's a planar driver that's right in the middle of this. I'd tear this off, but I don't want to get messy with it. But these are dual driver headphones, and they're effective. They do some things really well. They do some things not so well, which we're going to talk about in the review. But they do a lot of things really well, and I think it's quite a pleasing headphone to listen to. Very cool. Tom says, always a pleasure to watch the stream and drink some tea. Well, I hopefully you can spike it a little. It's that time of the day somewhere. We encourage drinking on this show. Just don't drive. Dixter says, Kevin Jacques, interesting. May have to fly into Dallas after all. Hey, that's a plan. I like that. What up, audio nerds? Guilty. Adnan says, what kind of Diana is that? I think that was the DZ, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're still out there, Neil, can you chime in? That's the DZ, right? The newer one. Cheeky Fest says, just joined. What has he missed? You missed the whole Odyssey thing. I went over everything we talked about with Odyssey. Well, not everything. I walked up most of the stuff we talked about with Odyssey that I learned from Odyssey about the Carbon 2. We talked about the Carbon 2 and what makes it different and why it's special and what is SLAM technology and what does it do. I did a little demonstration of the point of it and what it does. And how that's changing what the Carbon 1 is about. And you can do an upgrade. So you can go back and watch that. And I talked about it. And that came from this weekend's Hangover Hangout that we did on Saturday. Adnan says, assuming it's a new one with that head sling. Nice. I don't know what that is. What are we talking about? Head sling. I've missed it. Want pics of the organic topping A? Yeah, send me pictures. Send me pictures of any of your rigs, guys. I'll take them. I think it's fun. I think I like showing off other people's rigs. I think it's informative and it gives us ideas to think about for our own stuff, and it's just fun to look at. It's audio porn, much like these websites with the ZMF stuff and all that. Very cool. Read the Headphones show. He finds it difficult to connect with people if he doesn't know their names, i.e. DMS, Golden Wave, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I would stop in there pretty regularly, but I it's hard to find time for all this stuff, and on a Saturday, it's kind of like if I'm not doing the hangout, I'm like I'd rather be doing something else. I've got things to get done, and it's my one real day. Saturday and Sunday are my 2 days with my wife that we get to spend time together, so I like to do that. So yeah, I don't know. And they do their thing on Saturday morning usually, I think. And that was one of the reasons I moved this to Wednesday, because I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to follow their format. I thought it was ripping off. I liked the idea of a live show, but it was going to have to... I want it to be my live show, not like I was doing what they're doing kind of thing. So that's where I came up with the idea of sort of making it about drinking. Having a good time and sort of take the edge off. Just a place to come for an hour and blow off some steam and laugh at the idiot on the air. Cheeky Fest says he prefers the ungrateful alive, though ungrateful people generally annoy him. Yeah, I hear it. Adnan says, haha, DMS is Douglas, Golden Sun is Cameron, good friend. And he assumes by wave he means wave theory. I don't know. I know DMS by face. I know Cameron. Wave theory, I'm not familiar with that. I don't know who that is. Benjamin Craig says what he likes about tuning into this channel is the laid-back presentation, because Lord knows, and actual focus on music. Headphone show gets too focused on the product. Yeah, I'm a music nerd first, and I love talking about stuff that's interesting for me. And last weekend, let's see, what did I recommend on for the Hangout? We were talking about. Oh, my recommendation for this week was I was going on Tidal, and I found, Susanna Hoffs. Susanna Hoffs was the bassist for the Bangles. And it was very interesting. Susanna Hoffs, I'll give, just because we're on the subject, I'll give you a quick recommendation. Susanna Hoffs, from the bassist for the Bangles, she was known as the queen of the side eye. She had this thing where she would look off while she was playing bass. Very sexy. She's a very popular musician for many reasons. Not to mention, she had a beautiful angelic voice on top of killer looks, and she could play guitar, bass guitar also back then. And so in the late 90s, she was having people come over to her garage and they would jam, and she started recording some stuff for a potential album in her garage. This will all come back to play, but turns out that she reunited the Bangles instead, and they did the Austin Powers reunion, and they did a song for the Austin Powers soundtrack, whatever it was, in the early 2000s, and it sidelined this album idea she had, and she finally, after 22 years later, came across those tapes and thought, gee, these are really actually pretty good. I should put them out. And so she released an album called The Lost Album. And this is all recordings that were done in 1999 in her garage. And they're very simple songs. They're very pretty songs. And what I love about this record is every song's message is positive. It's just positivity for 35, 40 minutes. It's not a big album. It's not overly long. It's not even a lot of drum work on it. It's a lot of guitar, a lot of acoustic guitars and other things. But it's not terribly percussive. Some of the tracks don't even have drums. And I just loved that it was, and it's even got like a Celtic vibe to it. It's very cool. But I just loved that the lyrics are all so positive. Everything is a positive message. And when we're in this era right now where everything we read, everything we see, every image is on TV is somebody attacking another person for some god-awful reason, to take a break, put on some headphones, and listen to some positivity for half an hour, I left like going, this was a great experience. And she still has a great voice, or she did at least in 99. So go check that out. The album is called The Lost Album, and it's by Susanna Hoffs, formerly of the Bangles. Do do check that out. It's a wonderful record. It's a nice record. It's just a nice record, and who doesn't want that these days? You know what I mean? Like, it's just an escape. It's a great escape, and it's not. Just go listen to it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I think it's gonna, it's just got a great vibe. All right, moving on. So Benjamin, there you go. You got yourself an album recommendation for the day, just because you asked. And I love talking about music. Cheeky Fest, like having Magnapan speakers with a traditional sub. Yes, same concept. The hybrid headphones like the Apollo. DZ, yes, DZ, yes, that's what it was. That Neil's in Neil's photo was a Diana DZ. Cheeky Fest, he'll watch on the replay, and why can't I afford it? I know. Well, it's all expensive, boys. Fortunately, I've got one of the original carbons, so I will be getting this upgraded, and I'm excited about that. I'm gonna have them put the system in it. Because I think it'll help. I think it's going to help a lot of things. And it takes away my biggest knock on this headphone, which was always that driver flex. It was the driver flex on that. Stax farts were so bad. It was really painful. It was painful. Neil Snyder, cool. Which color did you get? He got one too. He finds it to be his favorite tuning from Abyss. Oh, the DZ. Very good. I always wanted to get the Diana, and I always wanted to get him an army green. They did custom colors not too long ago for that, and I really enjoyed it. Neil, I'm not taking that bait. That game better not have started early. I'm going to be pissed. Don't be teasing me. Don't be teasing me. And now you're going to make me look it up. It's going to blast something here, though. All right, wait. Pre-game. You lied. You lied, Neil. You lied. This pre-game's still on. You made me look it up. Golden Sound. Yeah, I know. He didn't know DMS was Douglas till. Neil Snyder says, buy his Diana DZ for $2,800. He have the blue something. Oh, for the color. Howdy, says Ace Spades. Cheers, my brother. Glad you could make it. Last little bit here, because I'm going to watch that game tonight, and I'm gonna go do. I gotta get my workout in, and I started rehabbing the shoulder. I've been doing it every morning. It's so sore. It's so sore. I have a 10-inch. I have a 10. Not 10-inch. I have a 10 millimeter tear of my rotator cuff, and I've got a secondary tear on the backside, and it's a mess. And she told me it's going to be painful and long, but she said it's going to take you less time than surgery, so we'll try and do it through rehab. But I got to do those exercises every day now. It's so fun. I've got a bar. I got to do all these things and do things that my arms won't do. People ask me, why don't you dance anymore like this? It's like, I can't. It hurts. Don't ever do that on live television again. Nephilim says, not here. Nephilim not here tonight. He wanted to tell Nicholas that he sold his Woo WA-22 and moved to 300Bs. What'd you get? Adnan, what amp did you buy? Want to know? Nephilim, yeah, I know. Rigo. Hey, Michael. How you doing, Rodrigo? Good to see you. Or hear you, or watch you. Oh, that sounded creepy. Did they talk about the Odyssey Nagra closeback? Yeah, the Nagra is basically a rebranded Odyssey XC, LCD XC. They basically took that headphone and put a Nagra stamp on it. So it's the same headphone. Rigo says he's on his way to see King Diamond. Rigo, you're in New York. Why aren't you on your way to see the Yankees? How does that happen? All right. Voyager by Ali Farka Tour. Great African jazz. Okay, I'm going to copy that over. Thank you, Neil. I always take note of these because I like to go back and check them out for myself. And I've got a complaint because I put the new Apple software on my computer, and every time I grab a window and just try to move it sideways, it expands to full screen now. And I'm like, why can't I just grab the window and move it a little bit to get it out of the way? No, and now it like jumps up to full screen anytime I move my mouse when I'm clicked on it. It's so annoying. I'm trying to figure out where the setting is for that. I haven't found it yet. But it's driving me bananas. I'm so sorry I put in this OS upgrade. It's supposed to have some Siri stuff and help with AI, but I'm like, oh, it's such a mess. John, was his birthday on Sunday. He was traveling in Japan. Missed the stream. Sorry about that, buddy. It was good. It's good. It was really good. Very good stream. But I sent out the link. You should be able to check that out. Nephilim, wow! Working a long one today. Catching up. Adnan sold his WA-22. He's not alone now. Oh, the WA-22s are falling fast and hard. Best thing about that amp is that it's push-pull. It's one of the few tube amps that's push-pull. It's very cool. Cheeky Fest says it will be a long time till he upgrades from his organics unless a major life shift happens. I'm kind of in that. I need a major life shift right now. Adnan says, oh, Michael, fun story. I know what. They asked for a name idea for the custom Diana color, and he put a name on it, and they picked his. They should now send him one. So you named a custom color for the Diana, and they didn't even send you one? How rude. Cheeky Fest emailed me some pics. I'm going to show those next week. We're gonna hold them for a week, Cheeky Fest, because I don't want to disrupt. It's going to take me time to move it over there, and I'm running out of time anyway for today. It's a shorter stream today. I just want to watch the game, and I've got to get a workout in tonight too. Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians, Shooting Rubber Bands at the Stars is a great recording album. Yeah, that's a quieter record. I always liked Edie Brickell. Huge fan, and I even liked the next one, which was Mama Said. Was that it? Edie Brickell, New Bohemians, and I want to talk, it's discography. The second one, Ghost of a Dog, which had a song on it called Mama Said. I love that record. Or Mama Help Me, it was called, the name of the song. Great record. I even liked the second album, Ghost of a Dog. I thought that was brilliant. I thought both those records were good. First one was a little drier. The second one was a little more produced. Big fan, though. Big fan. She, of course, went on to marry Paul Simon. And still married to him, but they had some domestic issues, I guess, a few years ago. Oops. Sorry about that. Bad news. But I thought she was gifted. I really enjoyed her voice. It was a very interesting sound to her vocal. And that first record it shot around the world. It was actually Saturday Night Live that made them famous. They put Edie on as, when she was completely unknown, and she did What I Am on that show. It was like in '88 or something. It was really good, really good. It may have been earlier than that even. No, I think it was '88. Thanks for the recommendation. There you go. Got two records to listen to. Female singers. Yeah, that's a good record. Shooting Rubber Bands at the Stars. And I have it on album. I have both that and Ghost of a Dog on LP. That was in my record collecting days. I haven't been doing that lately, obviously. Rigo, because tickets are $1,000 plus. Yeah, I know. Sorry, buddy. Have Tony buy you a pair. You don't have the Audio 46 doesn't have a box at Yankee Stadium. I got to sell more headphones for you guys. Damn it. He loves Michael Music Discussions. It's a great part of the Director's Garage experience. Yeah, I did. In fact, I opened up the next episode for the Apollo because I got to the end and I'm like, at least of part one, and I thought, man, these need I need a little music section in this. I want to talk about a little bit of music. Like, I love talking about what music sounds like through the headphone. I think that's valuable. We talk too much about, well, it's got tons of detail and it's like the bass is like, it sounds represented, but like, I think it's valuable to say, hey, here's a piece of music that a lot of you like, and this is what I'm hearing from that and why I like it or dislike it. And here's a song by that artist that works, and here's a song by that artist that doesn't work for very different reasons. You know, very cool stuff. I like talking about music and relating it to headphones. My only downside is I can't play any of it for you because of the copyright bullshit. But someday that'll change, hopefully. When I get my 1,000,000th subscriber, I tell you, the first thing I'm buying when I get 1,000,000 subscribers, I'm going out and buying an ASCAP license so I can play any music I want on the show. That's the dream, boys. That's the dream. I would love to have an ASCAP license. He's still the same OS behind. Oh, you're some OSs behind. Yeah, behind me. Yeah. I just upgraded yesterday, and upgrading OSs is something I rarely do. I'm usually a couple of OSs behind like you. I just saw some of the new features, and I thought, okay, that's good, but it's also taken away some features that I'm like, wait a minute, why are you resizing my window on me? I didn't ask you to do that. So I've got to figure out how to get rid of that because it's driving me a little bananas. Every time I grab the window, it goes up to full screen, and I'm like, why? And I can't undo it. Like, you got to just find the corner, drag the corner, or, I don't know, it's very weird. So there you go. Nicholas, what's up, man? He's still on Mojave. I think I was on whatever the last one was. Big Sur, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember what they're all. Catalina. It's got dressing. You got to finish at 4:33. I do? Oh, shoot. I'm past the time. If you know, you know. I don't know. 4:33. I'm guessing you're talking about numbers, like player numbers. Nephilim says, Bill, he's alive, my man. What a day. But he's glad to have stopped in here to catch you guys. Also agree, the music recommendations. So fun. Audio Fool says he'd rather see King Diamond than a ball game, just his preference. Well, I'm a Dodger. My National League team, I think I talked about this. My National League team is the Dodgers, and my American League team is the White Sox. And we know how bad the White Sox did this year. And the White Sox are my main team because I just grew up there. Parents met there, in fact. Adnan, what 300B amp did you get? NV by chance? That's what I want to know. Adnan, jump in here before we go. Last few, and then we're going to head out of here. Did you listen to the new Carbon 2? What did you think of them? Go watch the beginning of this stream. I talked about the Carbon 2 up top. I think they're fabulous. I think it's great. They added more bass. And if you wanted a deeper dive into what I thought about them, you can check out my Can Jam review episode, which is silly and fun. But I talk about my experience with the Carbon 2 on that episode. But generally love them. I can't wait for the new upgrade, and I'm in line, and Odyssey knows it. His music recommendation, we all take off. Let me reread this because it just like my mind went what? Nephilim says his music recommendation before we take off is Kruder and Dorfmeister. The album is called G Stoned from 1994, The Height of Experimentation. All right, man. I'm down for some experimentation. I'm going to copy that over to the list, to my little list for today. I still have some stuff I didn't get to last time. Very good. Any job news? Nope. I got nothing. 4 minutes, 33 seconds, the name of a composition by John Cage. It's 4:33 of silence, but it's not silence. Okay. I'll look that up. I'll look it up. Put that in the list. All right, fellas, I think we're going to call this one early so that I can get over to my game, and I got to get a workout in today. Today's the day I do 3 miles, so I got to get my 3 miles in. Maybe what I'll do is I'll start watching the game and then break and then go off and do some miles and come back, and then I can skip some commercial breaks because that saves time. All right, fellas, thank you so much for stopping by today. The Director's Garage Hump Day Happy Hour Hangout, and we'll have a new episode coming up soon. And it's going to be part 1 of the review of the Noble Audio Apollo. I got to talk to you, Rodrigo, because I have nothing to review after I get done with these Apollos. I got to get something over here. I know there's a whole thing going on, but I've got to figure that out. All right. But thank you guys for stopping by today. I hope you had a little bit of fun. I hope you enjoyed the Odyssey update and at the beginning of the show. Always a pleasure to do this hangout. This is one of the things I look forward to every single week. And take care, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys, before you know it. Let's find my switcher so I can get out of this episode. Such a thing. All right. See you guys.
You know it's happy hour. Let's all hang out. Let's all get drunk. And today, at the director's garage. For happy hour, people. Hey, hey. Let's hang out and get wasted at the director's garage.